Kendrick Lamar just took Drake's ability to say the N-word away. Now, y'all think that it's still a battle? Do you think that Drake really has a chance right now with Kendrick Lamar? Because this shit has been dropping like hotcakes. First, Drake tries to put Kendrick Lamar on blast after push-ups for not replying fast enough. And now Kendrick Lamar has released, what, 1, 2, 3 fucking tracks after that?
I'm pretty sure it's 4 at this point.
4?
Yeah.
This is ridiculous.
It's getting to the point where this is just overkill. And a lot of people have basically said that this is the standing over the dead body and shooting.
That reminds me of that shot of Muhammad Ali standing over. And
people have compared what Kendrick is doing to a very strategic Art of War, 40 Laws of Power. And then you talk about Muhammad Ali, the rope-a-dope, where it's like, oh, you got me, and then bam, knock your ass out. You know what I'm saying? So it's pretty clear who's winning. I don't care if you like some of the things that Drake said, but we're recognizing the problem here with this whole idea that it only matters if the songs are good.
Drake doesn't represent the culture. This motherfucker's a goddamn minstrel show. Pusha T already put him on blast with this shit. That photo of Drake in blackface is not AI generated.
Nah.
This is a real photo of Drake in blackface.
A lot of people are probably going to be like, well, that was already said about him. This is the problem. And this is what Kendrick also said in one of his verses. Once a lame, always a lame. Once you get exposed as a lame, and a lot of people have different definitions of lames. I think lame is based on social group and setting as well, right? Drake has shown that he's not authentic, right? So that means that every time he gets into a beef with somebody, he's going to have to show that he's authentic enough to be relevant in that beef. It's clear that right now, he doesn't have that. Even if Kendrick is recycling concepts, those concepts are still true.
I don't think Kendrick is recycling anything. This motherfucker is trashing Drake left and right. Ain't no recycling in sight. This motherfucker is expanding on the asterisks that were put in footnotes from Pusha T standing over Drake's body.
Yeah.
All right. And so, but Drake thinks he's got real beef with Kendrick Lamar or a real chance at winning this shit. But you look at Family Matters, okay? I appreciate some of the bars that Drake had. I'm not Drake's biggest fan, but I will say this. I can recognize skill. And his ghostwriters or Drake has some good lines and Family Matters.
Yes.
But I do like the Family Matters Good Kid, Mad City van being crushed.
I like the imagery. It was cool. He also went to that restaurant and showed that it was like, okay, I'm here at this restaurant. And in that third verse, he was like, where you at? Yeah. He was like chilling with all of his chains and he was hanging out with the owner. He was like, I'm really here. Like, I'm waiting for you. Come and catch. He even said that in a line. He was like, I heard you Los Angeles cats do phase. Well, come and catch his ass whooping. I'm right here.
But we both know that Drake's trying to borrow thuggery from 21 Savage. He ain't hood. He ain't street. He ain't any of those things.
Yes.
All that shit is fake.
Yeah.
Just like his ass. I wanted to give Drake a chance because he seemed like he was starting to finally take this seriously with Family Matters.
Yeah.
So in Family Matters, what do we have? We have Drake saying he accuses Kendrick's child of not being his own, accuses Kendrick Lamar of not giving back to his community despite all the pro-black shit. At the end, he accuses Kendrick Lamar of continuing to cheat on his wife. But when we look at Euphoria versus Family Matters, what I'm thinking is that Kendrick Lamar positioned this whole thing for Drake to self-snitch on himself. Maybe Drake has been a great father since Pusha T and Story of Aidadon. You know, maybe so. We don't know. Right after that, Meet the Grams dropped 30 minutes. 30 minutes after Family Matters.
Did not 30 minutes. Any time. So I was watching Kdot stream. He's super animated.
Yeah.
And so he was reviewing the Drake song. And literally, he was about to get off stream, and people were in the chat like, Kendrick just dropped again. He was like, what the fuck? What do you mean? And so, of course, he puts it on for his chat.
Nice.
And he was like, I didn't even get a chance. And a lot of content creators are like, I didn't even get a chance to digest the Drake song. But that also showed that Kendrick knew, and it was like Kendrick had heard that diss already, and he knew when he dropped it, he was already queuing something up. He was already cooking something up just to crush that back because he already knew he had that.
Not giving fans enough time to even digest what Drake was rapping about. No. So then Kendrick Lamar and Meet the Grams then goes on. What does he fucking say? He accuses Drake of being a Pedialyte drinker.
Yes. Straight up chomo.
He implies that Drake is a groomer and a predator.
Yes.
Which I don't know if that's even an implication. If we could even say it looks.
And it's just the darkness of the angles, right? Like he starts off talking about his son and basically telling him that I could be your mentor because your dad ain't really a good enough person to teach you how to be the type of man you need to be because his dad was never around to teach him to be a man. No. And it was like the layers of this shit. I mean, it's like it's just damning, bro.
Well, Kendrick Lamar may not be the world's most lyrical rapper, but he is probably the best songwriter. This motherfucker knows how to put a song together, and he also revealed a second hidden child that Drake has tucked away, who's 11 years old.
And Drake keeps coming out with Instagram memes like, "If y'all find this kid, but it's like Kendrick has basically put out so much damning information that he can't fight it all at once.
No.
It's just too much for him to fight back against. And before, when it was positioned as it was going to be Drake versus all these other people, all those other people are in the background now. It's just you versus Kendrick. And so unless you come straight at Kendrick, which you really didn't do with Family Matters, you still kind of veered off and you hit Rick Ross up a little bit and you hit up Metro Boomin again a little bit and you came at A$AP Rocky like, that's cool, bro. But nobody cares about those guys. They only care what you think about Kendrick.
Let's talk about Metro Boomin for a second. Now, you blamed him for all of this shit kicking off, but I blame Drake for inauthentically trying to represent his position in the culture from the very beginning. Because the very first time I heard that motherfucker, I was questioning. I also questioned Drake. I'm first few albums, first 2 or 3. Okay, we got Drake in his lyrical moments. He's trying to come through. He's hungry. He's working for it. But then after that, what the fuck happened? What the fuck happened?
So the person who tried to put me on to Drake, this is a true story. I was working at Jimmy John's. I was about 18-ish. It was this girl that was 16 that also worked there. She was a white girl. That was the first person who tried to introduce me to Drake. And she was like, you should listen to Drake. I was like, who the fuck is Drake? And then she played the shit for me and I was like, nah, this ain't it. This ain't it.
A white person introduced you to Drake.
Yes, a white person put me on to Drake.
Yes. That's because that's who Drake represents. Drake represents a fundamental change in hip-hop to focus only on club music as if that's all that matters. So it's ironic that he talks about Family Matters when if hip-hop is a culture, he ain't part of that family.
And he, to appeal to me, had to get a little bit harder. He had to take on more of that Houston style. He had to link up with Wayne more. And then I finally started giving him some validity, right? But that's that chameleon shit that Kendrick is talking about. The fact that he doesn't have a genuine backstory. His backstory is just like the grass. It's made up.
He didn't grow up in the hood. He didn't grow up trying to make his stripes. He didn't grow up facing police brutality in America. No. He's not an American black dude. No. And so he's trying to poach on American black culture.
And he tried to downplay being a child star. But remember when he made Started From the Bottom and people were kind of criticizing that because they were like,
started from the bottom, now we're here.
Now it was an anthem. What
was the bottom? The bottom of growing up in a privileged middle class family as a child star? Yes, you started from the very bottom.
That was a struggle, bro.
Because all my hood rap fools, they started on TV shows as well.
Exactly. Yes. You can't deny his skill. But he's always veered away from being a real one, right? He's always tried to be like, I'm doing this as just for fun. I'm doing this just for the enjoyment of my audience. He didn't have no real backing of anybody that was like, look, we want to see you do this for the culture.
Well, speaking of culture, Kendrick Lamar is coming back. Take a look at all the subs Kendrick Lamar has dropped. The title, 616 in LA, is the quintuple entendre Drake was asking for. Kendrick Lamar drops the track at 6:16 a.m. 16th of June 2024 is Father's Day in Canada. 16th of June, Tupac Shakur was born. 16th of June 1994, O.J. Simpson's murder trial starts in LA. The song is a play on Drake's timestamp series. The black leather driving gloves on the cover is a nod to O.J. Simpson's bloody gloves. Ninth Wonder even said it could also mean I murder Caucasians and get away with it.
Yeah.
616 in LA was also produced by Jack Antonoff, who is Taylor Swift's producer. So 616 is literally tailor-made, referencing Drake's own diss against Kendrick Lamar's tailor-made freestyle.
He's just too cerebral. When it's a person that you're dealing with that lives, breathes, and bleeds this shit, it's different. Drake is just doing this as a business venture to make some quick cash. Kendrick wants to be recognized as the best writer in hip-hop history. And because of that, you got different motivations. The motivations are different. You're never going to be able to match Kendrick because he really feel like he doing this because of the legends like Tupac. Especially if you listen to the most recent one. The Not Like Us track is a specific, purposeful track where he was like, I move the culture more than you do, and I can do the same thing you do, but still retain my blackness. I don't have to sell out. I can still be West Coast. I can still be everything that you are and maintain my blackness. And that's one of those things where Drake has to fight for his blackness. He's been fighting for his blackness because he's chosen to kind of play the sideline versus leaning into it and really getting some history. And that's something that it's a choice. It's a choice. Drake chose that. And that's why he's kind of sitting in the back because he never really took this shit seriously. Drake is trying to service an audience that was created and is being monitored by the record labels. Kendrick is making music for people who respect the culture. And that's why you got to make a decision. That's why you got to choose a side. It's not because I don't think Drake is talented or that he can't make good music here and there. It's the fact that what Drake represents is not healthy for humanity.
So what do we look at in the aftermath of this battle? Okay, I think it's done. I think Kendrick Lamar has won this. There's nothing Drake can come back with because he's not personally invested in hip-hop culture. He was never really part of it. So what happens at this? So some people have argued, well, okay, you know, Drake will still continue to move units. He will still sell shit. Yeah, but look at Honestly Nevermind. That sold shit, but it was trash. It was never any good at all.
Can we stop this whole it's sold records? That makes a good thing. It's like, yes, it's great if something sells records, or it's great if something's popular and it sells records, but that's not the only measure of quality. You know, you see the shit like fucking infomercials, right? Where they're selling those gag
the infomercials,
and it's like they have the testimonials. 2 million sold. It's like, that doesn't make it a good product. That just means it has great marketing. And that's what Drake is.
Drake is trying to commoditize hip hop versus it being a culture representing black people. Right? That's a big difference. Yes. So Kendrick is now coming through representing all the true heads of hip hop culture. For this person who was never really part of it, doesn't have stripes, didn't grow up in the ghetto, didn't face the shit that people have to face in America who are black. So right now, okay, let's just say the battle ends with the latest track. Not Like Us. No reply, crickets from Drake, and that's it. How will this change hip-hop culture? Your rapper's rapper is paying attention because Kendrick Lamar's got the receipts for every claim that he has made about Drake. Kendrick Lamar is breathing fire back in hip-hop if you thought it was dead.
This is definitely true. And I was getting frustrated with that narrative. You know, when we started this podcast, one of the things that we hung our hat on was the fact that we said hip hop wasn't dead. It's just the fact that what you see in the mainstream is dead. That's something Kendrick also mentioned. He said the industry is cooked. I'm picking the carcass apart, right? And he kept mentioning several times. He's like, fuck the industry. I don't care if the industry doesn't like me because I'm taking down their golden boy.
Yeah.
Right? And so this is what's important. When hip hop was built, it was built as a counterculture. It was not built to be a part of the mainstream. And it's okay that it's mainstream. But the reason why hip hop can't die, and it's probably gonna be a long time before we see a shift in music, and why we see a resurgence is because the true essence of hip hop was the fact that people were able to put their message out through their lyrics, and people would break that down and they would resonate with it. And that's all that's happening. The reason why there's a spark in hip hop is because people are going back to resonating with the music, and they could never really resonate with that Drake.
No. So I like the analogy that everybody coming at Drake right now is like the Avengers and Drake is Thanos. I like that analogy.
He's definitely a super villain. It's a super villain.
Here to destroy hip hop.
Yes.
Right? But how are you going to destroy hip hop when Kendrick Lamar comes back? Why are you trolling like a bitch? Ain't you tired? Trying to strike a chord is probably A minor.
And it's like, this is... Drake gonna have to pay 20 dudes to come up with one line like that. And Kendrick is in his own sweatshop, in his own man.
Yes.
Like, people have depicted Kendrick like sitting in the dark with a nightlight on, not sleeping, like his children laying right next to him, you know, and he's just sitting there writing and writing. You know, one of the people that I'm going to compare Kendrick to, because he's West Coast, is Tupac, right? And Big said this about Tupac. This is a verified story. And for all you young cats that don't know anything about hip hop history. But Big and Pac were actually friends for some time. And one time, Big was at Pac's house. When he got to the house, Pac was writing a song. You know what I'm saying? And everybody ain't that diligent about writing. But it's the reason why Tupac got so much music, even posthumously. And then he said he went to the bathroom. He came back. Pac had finished that song and started writing another song. Like, that's how much he loved writing. That's how much he loved putting out music and creating something for the culture. And I feel like that's exactly what Kendrick was doing. He's like, all right, Drake, let's see what your ghostwriters do. I'm actually going to sit down and I'm going to do what I love to do personally. And let's see how that matches up with me. Clearly, Drake's output, even with 20 writers, is not on par with Kendrick.
And why is that? The reason why is because Drake lacks soul. He doesn't really have a personal investment in hip hop. He doesn't believe in hip hop. He believes in it as a product.
Yes.
When you listen to music, you want it to make you feel something. When you listen to NWA and Fuck the Police, when you listen to anything that Black Thought has done with the Roots, when you listen to any of that, it makes you feel something because it resonates with shit you've gone through as well. Drake has none of that. None of that. So, okay, regardless of what the outcome by a court of public opinion or record label funded fucking trolls online, whatever the fuck they want to try to do to spin this shit with spin doctors, it don't matter, because after this is done, Drake can still post new albums out and still sell units. But guess what? He is right now at the gates of hip hop facing Peter and Paul. And even if he thinks that he won, everyone will know Drake lost. What do you think? Comment below, like and subscribe, and tune in for another episode of From the Jump.